Traveled a long way to come here. Why don't you tell us where you were from and what you were expecting from the conference?
Right. My name's Jason Alexandra. I've come from Melbourne, Australia. I've been involved with water and environmental management all my working life. I came to Europe for some other meetings and fitted this Baltic Strategy Forum in as part of the trip, in part to get a handle on the way the Europeans are dealing with environmental management and intergovernmental cooperation in terms of solving major environmental problems.
And what are your major takeaways? What have you seen and what were you impressed by?
Oh, first of all, simply the scale of the conference. There's a very large number of people from really across Europe and a few outsiders like myself. So beautifully organised, sophisticated as we'd expect from Europe, strong sentiment of intergovernmental or cross-country cooperation. Cooperation in terms of the research community, the NGOs, the governments, strong, I call it collective direction. A lot of discussion within that collective direction maybe about the best way to get there. Deep recognition of the scale and the complexity of the problems and the need for, I'd call it a collective response, you know, a multi-country regional response.
Is there something specific that you can take with you and say, yes, I could implement this in Australia?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think it's more an appreciation of the sheer scale of, say, the research effort into managing eutrophication, the applied nature of, say, regulation and policy development about improving sewage treatment plants or adopting best practice in agriculture. These processes are really global problems and the underlying processes are very much the same wherever we are. So it's not so much about a specific transfer of a particular technology or approach, it's more to do with being aware that we can learn from one another, even though that we have different physical and cultural geographies, different political histories. When it comes to managing environmental problems, often the underlying processes are the same.
One of the themes of this conference is, of course, the vision for 2030. As you've been here and you've thought about this, what is your personal opinion? What should a vision for 2030 entail?
I wouldn't want to be prescriptive about what it should entail, but my view is that by having a debate or a discussion around a vision and even getting to some broad consensus about it, it's really only useful if it mobilises lots of action, implementation, political legitimacy, etc. So the fact that the vision is on the agenda, the fact that, it's not I'm not directly involved in the politics of it, so I wouldn't want to overstep the mark. But the sense that you would have at a conference like this, an in-depth discussion, an ongoing discussion amongst countries, amongst people about the need for the vision and then the need to take some tough decisions about how to get to that vision. That's a pretty strong take-home. A lot of conferences around managing the environment often are down at the technical detail, whereas what I found here was a balance between people reporting on projects around the specifics of what they're doing, right through to the ceremonial aspects of bringing ministers and prime ministers together to, as I said, to legitimise this big effort.